Aurora Vessels is an exhibition rooted in political claims of mythology on behalf of queer communities, and it's giving a space to find like this vessel for identity rooted in freedom by the mythological fundamental tales that used to usually be the only shelter for the queer narratives. And right now I feel there is still urgency to have those mediums. And I find very interesting notion in the myth as it has this paradox of being a truth and a fiction. And in that, I feel that queerness can find its own freedom in narration of it, because through this you can find the fluidity of identity. And I created the exhibition based on two notions of time capsules. There is present capsule and there is a capsule of the past. And in the capsule of the past, we focus more on the fiction aspect. The works are trying to intimidate us with kind of this fixation of being not real and pretending a medium, pretending some effects, and it's onto the viewer to make the myth real. And they're also rooted in these ancient narrations, and through them and changing their aspects, they are giving us like a fresh breath into it and kind of a redefinition by the queer ontologies. In the present capsule, we focus on the moment of the now, and here artists are very much referring to their personal experiences of living in the society of the now, and how actually through this more mythological creatures and visions, they can be more resistant to the society and the oppression that is imposed on them from the outside. So through these tools of kind of survival through the myth, they create this like a different world where they can find more of the aspects of their identity represented in. In the exhibition, you will find works of Paula Goggola, who is by mythology redefining the notion of being a trans woman in the society, and often they're facing an aspect of being a monster creature like personas, and she is re-owning that imaginary and actually creating her own monstrous creatures, but in that they're actually her own and beautiful and empowered. And this way she's like kind of standing in the opposition and pointing back this imaginary that is very hurtful in the beginning, but by her re-owning it, it's actually finding its own vessel of freedom and also power. And she's like stealing small moments from her own reality and making them big and important. And that's in her every painting present. So it's like frozen in time moments. Mirroring Paula Goggola's pieces, we'll find installation and video piece by Kuba Stępień, a non-binary artist from Poland who is revisiting their first experience of social formatting into the patriarchal society. And through this like sports club lessons, young boys were catered to how to behave, how to be obedient, and how to also manifest their strength. And after years, they found that still it's like sitting in them, there is like some kind of leftover trauma, and they decided to reach out to boys who shared this experience with them and queerify it and point back the weapon of the patriarchal system and make it more abstract and rooted in the sensibility of their own bodies and voices, and finding that some more kind of a freedom of their own narration. And the reflection of being a mere boy actually helped in this creating of the new image. In the capsule of the past, you will find a Greek artist, Dimitris Gikitis, and in his works, he is referring to the image of Roman and Greek empire and mythology, but through this imaginary, he tries to separate himself from the male and female distinction, white and black, and also animal and human. So he creates these creatures being in between. In the central point of the exhibition, we'll find the Slavic Mount by Maja Hira-Faber, who is a lesbian artist trying to empower herself and her roots by coming back to the Slavic pagan mythology, which are standing in the opposition of the post-colonial Christian identity of Poland, which she doesn't connect with. And she's using an imaginary of Krakow Slavic mount and a serpent, which was a symbol of power for the pagans. During the opening of Aurora vessels, Maja Hira-Faber, sat in the Compostela, her artistic performance alter ego, has presented a piece that's supposed to activate the installation that is installed in the space. So only through that happening, the work actually maintains more value and it becomes fed by spiritual energy. And through this piece of work, Maya created an alternative reality where in the Slavic pagan context there are existing queer female goddesses, which were always missing in the pagan mythology. And this way she is like regaining her own state and space in that, as also a person coming from a country that is avoiding giving any presence to the queer community and denying their rights and existence. She decided that she still wants to have some roots and she doesn't agree with the roots of now. So she decided to come back to the past where there was like more being connected to the nature and more aspects that could connect her to her femininity and identity. And this way she is regaining that mythology, but also fixing it in a way because they were missing this feminist, obviously, context in the past. She's also creating her own rituals, so it's like once again this narrative of the past, present, and the future, and redefining these notions.